Welcome to the show, guys.
Unmasking the Blueprint is a unique visual podcast that will begin each show with a blueprint shuffle. Yep, you heard me correctly. We will be shuffling. Grab a pen and a paper because the nuggets will be dropped for you to use and grow. We will interview business owners and music artists, and you'll be able to meet the person behind the brand. Each show will have a giveaway, so stay tuned to win. Hey guys, welcome to the show. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. We have an amazing guest today. Her name is Jennifer. She'll be on in just a second. We're going to talk about relationships. It's the first of the year, guys. We're in the first month of the year, and we always yell, new me, new year. You know, that's what we talk about. But a lot of times we forget that we are genuinely what starts the new us, the new beginning, right? So we can buy a new car, we can start the new exercise, we can do everything that we want to that's new. But if we don't actually change within ourselves, it's not going to be anything that's going to be new. It's going to be the same. It's going to be the new year, the new car, the new exercise regimen, the new boo, but it's still going to be the same us. And then we keep wondering why the relationship failed, why the job was still the same, why everything worked out the same, because we never really changed who we were inside. And so this year, Unmasking the Blueprint, guys, we're giving you everything that you need. We're giving you the keys to start the car. We're giving you the pen, the paper. We're giving you everything that you need to be successful. And you're like, okay, so what's the masculine blueprint? Who is Rachel and who is Jennifer who can tell us about this stuff? Let me let you know something. My name is Rachel Penns. Okay? I'm a mother. I'm a wife. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've written several books. I'm a strategy coach. And I call myself the one and only dream planning strategy coach. Okay, Jennifer, let me talk my name. And what I do is I help people, as many people as possible, live the life of their dreams through strategic planning. But you know what I learned? I'm a dream coach, right? But somehow we get older and we forget that we can still dream. And we think those dreams can no longer come true. And so this topic is so perfect. Because this is not just, we're going to talk about other relationships later, but you know what today is about? It's about self-love relationships. You know why? Because until we can love ourselves, we're never going to find the perfect person. We're never going to be the perfect friend. We're never going to find what we're looking for in other people until we find it into ourselves. And so we have the amazing Jennifer, and she just wrote a book. And the name of her book is called Intentional Healing. Guys, that's right on time. Because you know what we're doing? We're doing intentional self-love. Intentional self-relationship. So I want Jennifer to tell you who she is, what she is about. Because baby, when I tell you that, it's a lot, and I want her to tell you a little bit about her book before we get started. We're so glad to have you today on here, Dr. Jennifer Gilbert.
Hey, girl. Hey. How you doing? How are you? You warm?
Yes.
Good. Well, I am Dr. Jennifer Gilbert, as you so eloquently said. I am the CEO of JGM Educational Consultants, JGM Publishing, you name it. JGM is everything. Everything J. Gilbert Ministries. But above all that, as you said, I'm a mom. Even though my kids are grown, I'm a grandma. I'm not a wife, but by faith, I will be. And I'm an author, you name it, but above all, I love God and I love everything about him. And so, the new book that I have out, it's called Intentional Healing, and it's talking about healing, watch this, on purpose, in purpose, for purpose. sometimes we just like accidentally heal on some stuff. It'd be like, oh, well, he said he's sorry. Okay, I forgive him or whatever. But no, this is intentional healing. Intentional healing is letting me go in and find out, why was I offended in the first place? It is going back and getting to the root of what it is that caused the offense. Watch this, what caused my reaction, and what can I do to prevent this thing from happening again? And it's not until you can answer those three questions that you can authentically and intentionally heal from the inside out.
Hunted. It was good. Y'all better get y'all pen and y'all paper. So, as y'all can tell, I'm under the weather. Jennifer over there, we over here freezing up over here in this Texas, okay? But we was going to give y'all this tea today. So make sure you grab your pen and your paper.
Yeah.
And so, the first question I want you to write down is, when you look in a mirror, do you like what you see? Dr. Jennifer, I need for you to explain to the people, why is it so important for them to write that down and for them to sit down later and really, we're not asking you to post it or to comment. What we're asking you to do is to take this question, when you look in the mirror, do you like what you see? And I want you to self-evaluate it. But could you give us a little insight, Dr. Jennifer, why they should do that?
Well, because when you look at it, first of all, writing is in the Bible, they call them scribes. And the scribes were the one who actually went in to implement. They were the ones who wrote the vision and make it plain, if you would, so that people can see it and run with it. When you write this question down, you're asking yourself, do I like what I see? Why is that important? Because if I don't like what I see, then therefore I will adopt other people's perception of me. I will adopt other people's thoughts and their ideals of me. And then watch this, I become a part of the loophole. I fall into the loophole of being who they want me to be and saying what they want me to say. And now I've become a socio puppet. A socio puppet. And watch this, sometimes you can be a socio puppet in the house, in the church. And what makes it so bad is that you lose your identity. When you learn to like who you are, then you gain your own identity. So it doesn't matter what anybody else has to say. It's what I say to myself. It's how I feel about myself. And so, for a long time, as we all do, as moms, I would always put up pictures of my kids and my grandkids and everybody else. But nowadays, when you come into my home, you see nothing but pictures of me. Why? It's not that I'm a narcissist. It's that because I have to find out who I am. I have to find out who I am outside of being a mother, who I am outside of being a grandmother, who I am outside of being a preacher, who I am outside of being an author. I need to get to the core of who I really am. And watch this, when I look at these pictures of me about myself and around my house, it reminds me of where I came from. So every time when I get down, if I just happen to look up, I'm either going to see an affirmation that I have made for myself that is biblical, or I am going to see an event or something that happened in my life that reminds me, good Lord, if I got through that, I can get through this. And that's why it's important that we write these things down, because that's what the Bible instructs us to do. David said it, but he said, thy word have I hid in my heart that I may not sin against you. He had to write that thing on the breastplate of his heart so that every time when he had an encounter, if you would, and we all know about David, right? When he had an encounter, it wasn't that he didn't know God. It's just that he forgot to consult with his heart. He forgot to consult with himself to figure out who he was and what he was and why he did it. But watch this, when he became healed, then he was able to be who God called him to be.
Guys, that was so good. I'm telling you, Get your pen and paper out and ask yourself, if you are continuously in and out of relationships, if you find yourself not having consistent friendships, I don't want you to look at them anymore.
Yeah.
I want you to look within self and say, do I like what I see? That was so good.
Yeah.
How is mental? I want you to write this down. How is my mental health currently? I want you to write it down. How is my mental health currently? Because I'm gonna tell you something. You can't love nobody if you're not in a mental place. But you know what's worse than not being in a mental place? It's not even knowing that you're not even in the right place. So go ahead, Dr. Gilbert, and explain to them why not only do we have to know right the questions, why it's so important to self-evaluate.
It's important to self-evaluate, especially now in these times. You know, this current shutdown, if you would, these last 24 hours has been a test of my own intentional healing. Because it's easy to be healed when you're able to come and go and, you know, you're moving and you're shaking. But when you're forced to sit at home and deal with yourself, it reminds me of when we went through the pandemic, when we were all forced to sit down and shut up and listen to what God is having to say. Everybody wanted to know what God was saying in that season when they wasn't talking to God before. But when they got into that season and you was forced to sit down and shut up, it made you evaluate. And what happened? Most of us went crazy. Most of us, we started playing back the remnants of our past, and we started reliving those things, and we allowed those things to drive us to a place of depression, to drive us to a place of anxiety, to drive us to a place of unhealedness, unwholeness. See, there's one thing to be healed, but there's another thing to be whole. If we go back to the Bible again, it talks about when those 10 lepers went and they were all healed, but only one came back to say thank you, and that was the only one who was made whole. That's what happens. Will you be the one to go back and say, you know what, God, I thank you for that. I thank you for dodging that bullet for me. I thank you that relationship didn't work out. I thank you that friendship did not work out. I thank you that person walked out of my life. So many times we sit down and we look amiss of those things that left, those people that left, or those situations that didn't work out. But I promise you, if you sit down and you begin to say, God, I thank you for every no that you gave me. I don't want to just thank you for every time you answered my prayer, but I want to thank you for the no's that you gave me, because that no saved my life. And when we get to that point, then we are able to start to walk into the fullness, and we're able to sit down and evaluate. Nobody loves breakups. But what I do love about the concept of a breakup is that it allows me time to sit back and evaluate, what part did I play? What is it that I did or did not do? What is it that I can or cannot do? Was I expecting more than what I gave? What did I ask for more than I could give? What is it that I did wrong? And you know what? When I became intentional about my healing, Rachel, that's when I was able to sit down and say, what part did I play? What part did I play? What part did I play in my pain? Because sometimes our pain is self-inflicted. And then we want to blame everybody else because of something that we did. I just had my grand opening this past weekend. And I was, I live in Livingston off on a lake. And I was so moved. The crazy part was, it wasn't about the business. It wasn't about the business at all. It wasn't about the grand opening. It was about me seeing the number of people who counted it not robbery to drive from Houston, Texas to Livingston, Texas to celebrate me for just a couple of hours, to celebrate with me for a couple of hours. And then what I really loved is that I was able to sit back and look at these people and say, you know what? I don't have short-term friendships. I really do have some ride or dies. Does that mean we always get along? No. Does that mean that we always agree? No. But what it does mean is that at the end of the day, I celebrate you because you celebrate me. And I began to listen to what the people were saying about me. And many times I sat down and I was like, dang, are they talking about me? Are they talking about me? Yeah, because for so long I would give and give and give to everybody else that I forgot about myself. And these friends were the ones to help me realize that, you know what? You always giving to everybody else. This is your time. This is your season. This is your moment. Let us celebrate you. And it wasn't until then that I realized that, you know what, God, my healing was for such a time as this. When you realize that your circumstance and your situation was for such a time as this, then you're able to sit back and evaluate without taking on a victim mindset of woe is me. Oh my God, I can't believe they stopped talking to me. They don't want to be my friend. It's not a woe is me. It's, you know what, for such a time as this. You were my friend for such a time as that. You were my man for such a time as that. I mean, I would even venture to say I was with my kid's father for such a time as to make my children. And when that was done, then the season was over. That's a new mentality. It ain't no, I don't like him, he did it. No, it ain't about that. It's about what was the fruit that was produced from that season.
Girl, that's a whole nother... I'm trying to tell you, that's that mindset.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's that growth mindset.
Yes.
But it's also, it is so in tune with what we're talking about now, is our self-relationship.
Mm-hmm.
How we talk to ourselves, how we see ourselves, how we value ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So I love it. So all of it's good. So I hope y'all got that pen in your paper, and I hope that you see why the questions that I have you writing down are so valuable for you to answer.
Mm-hmm.
For you, for yourself. Did you hear what she said? She said, Rochelle, when I heal.
Mm-hmm.
When I heal.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we look for other people to help us heal.
Mm-hmm.
I can't heal until he tell me I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you might die without that in. Like, you gotta look at yourself in the mirror and look at your situation. And Jennifer, Dr. Jennifer hit it on point. She said, "What did I learn from this?
Mm-hmm.
What did I do that could have contributed to this?"
Mm-hmm.
Because when we take that mentality and we realize that we actually have control of a lot of things in our life,
yeah, right. It's so true.
It's it.
And not to cut you off, but it's also understanding time and season. I was talking to a friend of mine today, and we were laughing, and he's a Christian, I'm a Christian or whatever, and we're literally just friends. And he said something that really provoked my thought. He said, Jennifer, because I told him, I said, I'm surprised you ain't married by now. And he was like, man, I'm waiting because I thought I was ready. And I jumped into some stuff and realized, no, I need to get me together. And he said, this is what he said. And he said, now, not only, because we were on a panel before and we had talked about premarital counseling and how it's very important. And he went a step further. He was like, yeah, man, we used to talk about that premarital counseling. Now I'm all about that individual therapy too. You need to have that in addition to, because you got to get you together before we can get us together. And then watch this, when we learn how to walk in the office of marriage. Ooh. To be a wife, that's not it's not a title, it's an office. When to be a husband is not a title, it's an office. It's something that I got to, not only am I becoming, but I got to walk in that thing. And I thought that was so critical because, we don't talk about mental health as much as we used to, or shall I say, let me bring back, we should be talking about mental health more than we are. But we come further than we did before the pandemic. The pandemic is what brought mental health, if you would, to the forefront. But everybody wanted to take a pill. Take some pills, and I need an anxiety pill. I need a depression pill. I need a wake me up pill. I need a go to sleep pill. I need to sit down and watch TV pill. I got ADHD, ODD, OCP, OPP. I got all the letters. And guess what? At the end of the day, when you detox, guess what? You done crashed and you right back in that same position again. So you may as well sit down and say, God, okay, here I am. Here I am. Do whatever it is. Show me me. Show me me. So that me can be a better me for me. Because if when me can be a better me for me, yeah, this bad English. When me can be a better me for me, then me can be a better me for everybody else. And then I not only do I hold others accountable, but I'm holding myself accountable. Because now I can't go back into that rabbit hole of saying, well, Rochelle said she ain't like my hair, so maybe I should cut it, or I should do this. No, it's about how me feel about me.
I love that. And when I ask the first question, when you look in the mirror, do you like what you see? I'm going to piggyback on what Dr. Jennifer just said. A lot of times, the reason we be so lost in relationships is because we don't even know who we are, or what we like, what do we enjoy, because we've been so busy trying to be a friend, trying to be his girlfriend, trying to be her boyfriend, trying to be everybody else, trying to be these children's mother. Not ever really one. Who am I?
Yeah.
And that's why it's so important to answer the question. And so one question that get overlooked a lot with me being a strategy coach, what do you see yourself doing in a year? And I'm going to say it again. What do you see yourself doing in a year? And I didn't write this part down, but I'm going to say something for Jennifer to speak. Some things we plan to do, when you get into a relationship, you can switch. But there's some things about you that you don't want to shift because you already spent the years going to school for, or putting the time in, or you have the reasons why. And so I Googled some professions. And so I'm going to use military. I'm sorry, guys. Hold on. And so if you know in a year from now you have plans for your personal growth and you're looking to date, a military man probably shouldn't be on your list of men to be with. And guys, let's just be honest. I looked up a traveling nurse, a him or her a traveling doctor, somebody that's in sports. If you dating a guy and you know that he is a professional in something and he can move from here to there, then guess what? That may not be for you. So the question that I ask you again is where is it? What do you see yourself in a year? Because if you ask yourself that question and then you self-sabotage yourself by looking for things that you know that's going against what you're looking for in a year, it's called sabotage. And that's just something so simple I want to put out there, because in my career I see so many people who have so many plans and so many goals, and they're in a relationship and they're like, well, he wants me to move, or she wants me to relocate, or this happened. But when we go back to the basic question, you knew that from the beginning. So why should they ask themselves that question? Besides, I know I said one, but I mean, there's so many different ways. Why should they sit back and ask themselves that question, Dr. Jennifer?
It's important, again, and I don't want to be super religious, but the word is what I know.
Give it to us.
The Bible says, write the vision and make it plain. That's the first part. That men may see it. Men being mankind, man or woman, whomever you're linking up with, be it friendship, relationship, whatever, partnership, that they may see it and run with it. How can I run with it? I first got to find myself in that. If I know, and I'm going to use this as a prime example. I'm normally pretty good about being, staying in touch with people and things of that nature. But here these last few months, life has just been a little lifing, okay? I would say, really, I probably would say in the last year, but definitely in the past 2 or 3 months, especially with opening the business and working full time and writing the book and doing all of these things. I just got tunnel vision, right? Because I know that I'm on assignment. Everything that I'm doing is a God thing. And I know that in order for me to do this thing well, I got to do this thing well. And in order for me to do that thing well, that I got to do this thing well. And nowhere in there does it involve relationship, right? And so now, my house was chaos and, I had boxes everywhere and, all of these things that I'm getting ready for. And I'm sitting down literally writing half the night and all of this. And so now that the holidays are over, the grand opening is over, my birthday is over, and it's like, okay, so today I spent the day cleaning my house to get myself back together. And I don't know about other people, but for me, cleaning is cathartic. It makes me, when I put my house back together, it makes me put my thoughts back together. And I had to be honest with myself and say, you know what? This is a new normal for me. And I have to give myself grace that I can't be there for everybody when everybody needs me, how they need me, where they need me. I got to be focused on what it is that God has me doing in this season. And watch this. If it be the case that we're supposed to be together, then you'll find your place in the vision that God has given me, and it won't conflict. Because the Bible says that the blessings of God make one rich and addeth no sorrow. If me trying to be in a relationship becomes sorrowful for me, or it takes me off course, or it makes me lose focus, or it removes the blinders to where I'm not able to be all that I can be, then I've shortchanged both of us.
That's good.
I've shortchanged both of us. So we need to know, first of all, nobody wants to be with somebody without a vision. I'm just being real. Now, maybe in my 18s and my 20s and maybe even my 30s, I might have. But I'm finna be 50 in 361 days. You understand? And so I need somebody with a vision, with a goal. Like, where we going? What we doing? You know what I'm saying? Because the rubbing and the dubbing is all great and wonderful. But at the end of the day, I need to pay bills. I need to know that if something happens to you, that we're okay. If something happens to me, that we're okay. We have to, not only should I have my own personal vision. Watch this. This is very important. Not only should I have my own personal vision for myself, but you need to have one for yourself. And then we need to come together at threefold cord, and we need to create one for us.
How about that?
Because what happens is so many times we get lost into what other people's dreams and vision. Oh, I can help you with that. No. I need you. When you sit at the table, we don't sit at each other's lap. We sit in a chair all by ourselves. And I need to know why you sitting at the table. What is it that you bringing? And then let me tell you what I'm bringing. And watch this. This is the important part. It's not a competition. It's not a competition. It's a completion. And we should see somewhere where those two visions, those individual visions, intertwine with each other. The Bible says a threefold cord is not easily broken, which means my vision, your vision, and the vision that God has for us together, when we put it together and we begin to move and we begin to execute in that thing, there's no stopping us. Because I'm not worried about how much you're doing and how much I'm doing. I'm not worried about how much you bring to the table and how much I'm bringing to the table. It's about what we do when we bring what we bring to the table.
I love it.
We have to be equally yoked. And it's so unfortunate that back in our days, I'll just speak for me, back in my days, my mother and father, they weren't college graduates. They just wanted to get out of where they was living. That was their goal. I want to get out my mama house. I want to get out my daddy house, and I want to be with you. And that's what they did. And I don't ever remember my mother and father being in the same house. That's how that vision worked. Y'all got out, and then what? You made me. That was it for such a time as this, right? But we have to become more goal focused. We have to become more goal driven, more goal oriented, to the point where we have to realize there's so much more to life. And it's not all about money. It's about purpose. What is my purpose on the earth? That's why the Bible, that book is called Intentional Healing. Healing on purpose. Right? I'm doing it with intention in mind. And I'm walking in my purpose while I'm healing. But then I know that there's a greater good. So therefore, I'm doing it for purpose. So that I could be better at what it is that I'm supposed to be doing right now. So that's why having a goal, having a vision, and then introducing that vision to whomever you're trying to be with, and it doesn't just have to be a romantic relationship. It could be in a friendship too. If you can't find yourself, if I say I want to sell Avon and you say you want to sell Mary Kay, we might can't sit at the same table.
You never know.
You understand what I'm saying? I mean, and it's not saying that we can't. Both of us are authors in our own right. We both have books out. We both have businesses. We both do these things. We're not competing with each other, but we have found ourselves the way that we complement each other. Is that we can come, you can talk about unmasking the blueprint. I can talk about healing, and therefore we are helpers one to another.
And I'm glad that she brought that up, because I just went to my page. I wanted to bring something up that she had said about your purpose. So Unmasking the Blueprint been around for 3 years. And when it first started off, God gave it to me to introduce brand new entrepreneurs. And that's exactly what I did. Mm-hmm. And then for 2024, God said, no, we're doing something different. Mm-hmm. And I had no idea that Dr. Jennifer had written this book. I had no idea who is going to talk about. So our topics and best practices are mindset, health and wellness, financial wealth, and relationships. Mm-hmm. And God told me this is going to be a collaboration of the mind. Mm-hmm. Because there's things. And she said it perfectly. I wrote a book called Take Your Life Back. Mm-hmm. It's a self-help book. Mm-hmm. And my book is very aggressive. It's snatching your life back. Mm-hmm. It is. I was molested. I felt like I could not breathe. I felt like the world was attacking me. And I was angry. And I took all of that anger and I fought the whole world. And so when God to the closet and he had me write, take your life back. Take your life back is for those who understand that journey. Mm-hmm. Take your life back is for people that things have happened to them. Mm-hmm. And we have allowed those things to ruin, and I'm going to say ruin, our life. Mm-hmm. Because what they did was so much that we would just, it's your fault, it's your fault, it's your fault, it's your fault. And one day God was like, I want you to stop. And I had to take everything that had happened to me, regardless if they owned it, regardless if it was my fault, because it wasn't, regardless, I had to take everything and put it on my back and like, I owned it.
Exactly.
I'm responsible for my mouth. I'm responsible for my hands. I'm responsible for my healing. That's me. But some people like, I'm taking responsible for nothing. and they can't understand that pain that I had. But there are certain people that's the only way we can take our life back. And so that book is for them. But see, intentional healing, I resonated and I understood it. And when you said it, I was like, yes! You know what? There's some people who can't heal from the pain that some of us heal from. They need to heal from a different place. When I was talking and I was giving examples and you said, I can only say it from a Christian way, that's why you on the show. Because God understands, I'm going to say it one way, but you're going to say it a different way. You know why? Because we need fasting a blueprint. We're not playing in 2024. We're reaching so many different people. We're changing people relationship-wise, with themselves, with God, with friends, but we started with self. We're changing people financially wise. We're actually giving them the blueprint on how to literally be successful when you hang up off the show. If they sit and take what we just told them, I promise you, not because I'm telling you, because I serve a God that I listen to. I listen to the questions that I already know what you need to hear. I don't know what Jennifer's going to say, but God does. God knows who's going to be on this show, and He knows what they're going to say. He provides. You know when I got this question, Jennifer? Today.
Wow.
God is going to download into me what needs to be heard, so the right people can hear it, so they can move on in 2024 to something different. And so, like Jennifer said, I'm an author. She's an author. But guess what? My book can't touch her book. Because her book don't touch who her book was supposed to touch. I'm going to share Jennifer's book like I wrote it. You know why? Because I can't take nothing from her. And she can't take nothing from me.
Right.
And if we in this season heal together, it doesn't matter which book you buy. I promise you. The book that's meant for you to get, that's the book that's going to heal you. And there's things that I'm going to say that you're not going to resonate with. Jennifer going to say it, and you'll be like, that's what I needed. And that's why she's here. And I love it. And I'm here to lift up my sister, because I know, I didn't even know she's written a book, but her book is right on time. And so the next question is, what are some forms of non-sexual form of intimacy that you enjoy? And you probably like, what? Let me break it down to you. If you don't even know what form of non-intimacy that you enjoy, that could be why you keep getting into a relationship and you're not happy. Sometimes we are communicational people. I made the word up. We like to communicate, but you get with a guy who's not a good communicator. And you keep wondering why the relationship not working, because you keep looking for the same thing in a man, but you're not looking for what you need. And so I'm going to say it again. I want you to write it down. What are some non-sexual forms of intimacy that you enjoy? And I'm going to say, give you some examples to make sure you understand. You like emotional? Is a massage intimacy to you? What about exercise? Some people are like, oh, when I go work out, something about all the men that be working out. Like, what is it? Is it talking? Is it cuddling? Is it touch? Is it holding hands? Is it a kiss on the forehead? Is it a gentle no word? What is it? Because if you don't know, you can't expect to never really get it. And so I want you to write it down, because that's so important when we talk about we want a relationship with somebody. Even if you want a relationship with girlfriend. I'm looking for, I can't find no friends. Everybody hates me. Maybe you don't even know what you're looking for in a friendship. What are you looking for in friendships?
Right.
So, Dr. Jennifer, and yes, I want you to give me the Bible version, baby. I want you to, why do I want them to answer that question? Why is that important for them to know?
Girl, yeah, listen, you didn't about mess me up. I'm going to go back to the Bible one more time. And I know that's your favorite scripture. I know it is. Habakkuk 2 and 3. Write the vision, make it plain. I keep going to that scripture, and it ain't like that's the only one I know. But when we're talking about this, when we're talking about self-love, when we're talking about what we desire, when we're talking about our visions and our goals and our aspirations and our dreams and all of these things, it always brings me back to that. Because if you don't know what your vision is, then how can you fulfill it? The way that I look at relationships now, because it's 361 days till I turn 50, okay? And I'm looking... Look, I forget my birthday was just Thursday. I'm saying I got 361 more days until I turn 50. I just feel like it's just something about the magical about to happen, right? I didn't even say it in my head. I said, okay, I done wrote 40 books. I think I need to write 10 this year so I can have 50 books by the time I turn 50. Anyway, stay focused, Jennifer. Here is the thing. Just think about this, and I want your listeners to listen to this. If you could write a prescription of your perfect mate, your perfect friend, your perfect date, your perfect life, what would that prescription entail? I'm not talking about a to-do list. So now there's an important difference, because I've had my to-do list. He got to do this, he got to make this, he got to do this, he got to act like this, he got to look like this. That's a to-do list. But if I write a prescription is something, it's a substance that changes you on the inside. It has nothing to do with your outside. So if I write a prescription that says this is what I need, like you said, this is non-physical. So it all has to be psychological, it has to be mental. I need you to mentally make love to me. Because there is going to come a day, whether we want to admit it or not, there is going to come a day when the touch just don't touch, okay? So what happens then? What do we do? What do we do then? Well, if I wrote out my prescription and I laid it before the Lord, he said, to make my desires known unto him. Delight yourself in me, and I will give you the desires of your heart. But if you don't know what you desire, then what you gonna get? How can you ask for it? Where it's gonna come from? You got to know what it is that you want. You got to know what it is that you desire in order for God to grant you the desires of your heart. You got to have that want to do and don't want to do list, right? I want to do these things. I want to have these things, but no, I don't want that. Now I do know I don't want that. I've been there, done that. No, that don't matter how well endowed. It doesn't matter. That don't matter. I'm saying I need this, because you can be well endowed and knock my head off. You can make 6 figures, and you know what I'm saying, and then we have no place to stay because you don't know how to manage it. Like, there's so many things. So we've got to be specific about what it is that we want, what it is that I desire, what it is that I need, and make sure that it's not all physical. I can't talk to somebody who has no conversation. I may as well sit here and talk to myself.
Right.
So what can this person do outside of me that will be fulfilling when the touch ain't touching?
Ooh. Guys, she said a mouthful. A lot of people do not believe in writing a husband or writing a person down first. And it doesn't matter either way. What they believe is fine.
Mm-hmm.
I know people who found the best husbands in the way that they find them. But, I believe in Habakkuk 2 and 2. I can just make it plain.
Right.
I am the creator of the vision board planner. I believe in Steve Harvey's 300 list. If you look behind me, I have 5 M's. All of my things, I am worthy, I am confident, I am valuable, I am wonderfully made, because I believe words are so powerful. And I did my first prayer board this year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm still writing my scriptures in it, but I so love it. And I say all that to say before we get off. So I was married before I had my beautiful son. And when I got my divorce, I sat down because being newly divorced, I had men coming from everywhere. Like, I felt like there was a sign on me that said single, ready to mingle. And they was coming from everywhere. And I had to sit down with myself. And I said, what is it that I'm looking for in a mate? What do I want to be remarried? Then if I do, what is it that I need from him? And a relationship is a two-way street. And so any guy who dates me would tell you, I don't cook. I put that like on a runner street. I didn't come in with I'm gonna slide it in later. No, I birthed 4 kids, but I'm coming to you with 6. Like, let me start over. I birthed 4, but there's usually 6 at my house, right? I make salary money, so I can afford myself. But I'm looking for a man who's gonna take care of me, not 6 children. But my hair, my nails, like, I was very specific in what I needed for myself. I was specific in his. I didn't want a man with more than 2 kids, because I figured I already had 6.
Yeah. Come on, Brady Bunch.
I wrote it down. You can only have 2 children. And people like, oh my gosh, you're just copying your blessing. No. I wasn't wasting my time. Now, if God would have gave me somebody different, that would have been different. But why date a man with 4 children when in my head I'm thinking this is overwhelmed? Why date a man who, it's a lot of things I'm not going to stay on here because it's going to take too long, but I had a list. And when I start talking to guys, and as soon as they start checking my list, I just never called them again. Because what I figured was, I am a mother of 6. I don't have time to play patty cake with you. I don't have time to do fake conversations and make fake friendships. I don't have the time. I work 50 hours a week. I was an attentive parent. I just didn't have the time.
Right.
And so if you made the little cut that I had, that means you understood the assignment. You understood because I even want guys to rule me out. Right. She got 6 kids. I ain't calling her back. Great. That's a let's do this. I gotta read through. Hey, you can't call me at 11 o'clock. I get up in the morning. Oh, I don't like that. Boom. One less dude. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So, what I'm saying, guys, when you learn your self-worth, I never allowed me having 6 kids make me feel less than.
Right.
I was still valuable to me. You know, I never allowed anything that I had going on to make me feel less than. And so when you sit and look at yourself and value yourself and say, this is my self-worth, and these are the things that I evaluate about myself, and these are things that I want to change about myself, then guess what? You become a better person, not for him, but for you.
Right.
And for everybody that's around you. And so I hope, I ain't gonna say I hope, I already know. Share this with your friends, because they're gonna get value from this. They're gonna get value from this. They answer those questions, they're gonna get value. And so Dr. Gilbert did the thing. She came on last week and she did the thing. She is full of wisdom, knowledge, and God knew who I needed and when I needed them, and I didn't even know I needed her. I reached out to her and she was like, boom, perfect topic, let's go.
Yeah. Yep.
And so, love it. And so, please tell them before we get off how they can find the book. What else? What you have going on? Just in case anybody missed it.
Okay.
And we're gonna play the music, and then we'll see them next week.
All right. Well, again, my name is Dr. Jennifer Gilbert. You can go to jgmeducationalconsultants.com. It's our website for our company that we just launched. Well, it's been open, but we just went into a brick and mortar building. Just had our grand opening. God is amazing. I'm going to be adding the catalog of all of my books on there, but you can also find all of my books on Amazon.com. Basically, anywhere books are sold. Barnes and Nobles, Amazon.com, you name it, I'm there. Just Google Dr. Jennifer Gilbert and all of this stuff is going to come up. And so right now we are just, we're on a book tour. And so because of the new business, I'm not able to travel as much as I used to. But we thank God for the internet. That the word may still get out. So we're doing that, and I'll be around. Where you see Rochelle, you'll see me.
And you see her? I love it.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank y'all so much for tuning in. And you know what? I will tell them we have next week. I don't even know, child. We have something. Just tune in every week, because I promise you, every time you tune in, you're going to get nuggets. And you're going to be better with what you were before you got on.
Thank you for tuning in today. It would mean the world to me if you will leave a review, a rating, and subscribe to my show. Please share with your family and friends if you enjoyed the show. This show, Unmasking the Blueprint, is for you. So send me a message with the topics you want us to discuss. Until next time, y'all stay safe.